Hello and namaste to every students. I'd like to welcome all the students from grade 2 for their English session today. And today we are even having lots of fun in our English class. Do you know, children? In English, we do have lots of things to get knowledge and to get fun as well. Like we talk about the different exercises related to grammar. Sometimes we listen the stories, sometimes we read or recite the poem, and sometimes we go through some paragraph or essay writing. So there are varieties of things to be learned in English class, and out of those all the varieties we are going for story today. And before going for our today's session, I would like to request all the students to be ready with your stationery materials. In our class today, we will be dealing with our one of the story. It may not be in your book, but some of you may be getting it. But our main focus goes to story listening and reading. So that children, please be ready with your stationery materials. Our main topic for today's story is the apple tree. Apple tree, one of the tree which gives apple, fruit. So today in our class, in terms of reading the story, we focus on new words and their meanings, and we learn the story through the different pictures and slides, and then after, if the time gets possible, then we'll be going for some of the exercises orally and in written form too. So now, with no any delay, with not doing any late, we are going for the word meaning, that is new words. Don't feel difficult, okay? New words are for new knowledge. What we have, that will be increased. So here, in this first new word we have, which comes under our story today, in our story discussion today, that is struck at. Struck at. You can check the spelling easily from here. S-T-R-U-C-K, struck at. Struck at means hitting. Hitting with great force. If I give a big stone on the wall, that's called struck. If I use a big axe to hit the tree, to cut the tree at once, that is called struck at. So, hit with great force. Next one is there, it's chopping. We have listened this word many times. C-H-O-P-P-I-N-G, chopping. Chopping means cutting, but with what? With an axe. If we cut the trees with an axe, that's called chopping the trees. If we cut the big logs with an axe, that's called chopping. So here we have chopping means cutting with an axe. The next one, the next new word for today's class is raised. Raised. The spelling you can check from here. R-A-I-S-E-D, raised. What is the meaning of raised then? It's lifted higher. Raised, lifted higher. I am hanging the stick. So, when it goes up higher, then what do I say? The stick is raising higher or raised up. That's what we call raised. Lifted higher. I am lifting it high. Next one, it's live in peace. We may be known to the word peace. Silent. No any noise. No any noise. If the teacher says you to live in peace, then that means the teacher is suggesting you to remain quietly with no any noise. So here the meaning of live in peace is living quietly. Living quietly, silently. No more disturbance, no more noise. So these are the words that we are going to learn or which we are going to get in today's story. Now, I don't want to make you wait for a long time. So, the story, the apple tree we are going to read, we are going to understand, and we are going to do the exercise on it. Now, let's check the first slide for the story, the starting of the story and some paragraphs related to it. After getting the slide, we will discuss on each of this matter or each of the part of the story. Okay? So, the first one, you will read with me aloud. Once there was an old apple tree in a farmer's garden. It could not bear fruits anymore, but a large number of sparrows, grasshoppers, squirrels, and other small birds and insects lived there. So, you can read it once again, children. That is for your reading skills. Once there was an old apple tree in a farmer's garden. It could not bear fruits anymore, but a large number of sparrows, grasshoppers, squirrels, and other small birds and insects lived in the tree. Now let's find out. It's always known that the trees are the shelters of birds and some of the insects too. So children, the story we are talking about the apple tree remained in the farmer's garden. It was an apple tree, but after so long, the tree stopped producing or giving the fruits. It did not give the fruit anymore. It did not produce the apples anymore. But beside, it was also the shelter of some of the sparrows. They used to stay there. Some of the squirrels, even grasshoppers, and other different insects. They used to live in the same tree, either on the branch of the trees or in the bottom of the trees where they could make their shelters. Now the next part of the story we can go through. One day, the farmer decided to cut down the trees. Please read aloud, okay? It's also for your reading skills. One day, the farmer decided to cut down the trees as he found them not useful, but the wood was strong. The farmer took a sharp axe and struck at the roots of the tree. At once, the birds and the animals in the tree cried aloud. So now, when the farmer, it was in farmer's garden, the apple tree led in the farmer's garden. So, what the farmer thought? When the tree stopped giving apples to the farmer, he decided to cut down the apple tree. Anyway, the apples were not available, but the wood was strong. so that the farmer thought of using the same wood to the different purpose. Then what happened? After he went to the apple tree and started striking at the apple tree with an axe. Striking at. Struck at. He started hitting the tree with an axe. Then that was also the shelter, that was also the home of the different birds, insects and animals. So, when they saw the farmer chopping down or striking at the tree, then they started crying aloud, shouting aloud. How could they shout? No, 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 it's our home, you cannot cut it. So, they thought or they were afraid that the shelter of them would be vanished or would be disappeared with the chopping down of the trees. Now let's see the next what had happened after that. All the birds and animals came out and started begging to save the tree. They said, "We will sing to you and that will make you happy." But the farmer listened to none. He was in a hurry and wanted to finish chopping by the afternoon. But when the animals, birds, and other different insects started crying aloud, when the farmers started striking at the tree, but the farmer did not take care of anyone. He just went on striking, chopping. And what he thought is, he would be chopping the trees by the evening. He did not listen to anybody else. But the sparrows, the grasshoppers, the squirrels and other different insects, they started making a loud voice to the farmer, and that they were begging. They were crying a lot. They were advising. They were just requesting the farmer to not to cut down the trees. And even they said for the compensation, they would be singing a song. The sparrows, the other birds would sing a song very sweetly. So in the same way, they tried to give promise to the farmer that they would sing a song which would make the farmer happy, but it was all worthless. The farmer did not listen. The farmer listened to none. They were not listened by the farmer. So now let's go to another part. What had happened there? Read aloud. As the farmer raised his axe one more time, he saw something hollow behind of the trees. The beehive was full of honey. The farmer tasted it. It tastes so sweet. He said after on, the farmer thought of not cutting the tree because he realized the bee would produce more honey too. Okay, now in this part, what do we get there? The farmer, in the first attempt, he was not trying or he was not ready to listen to anybody else. He was not listening. Though the sparrows, the squirrels, the grasshoppers, they were begging, they were requesting the farmer not to cut down the trees. But that was all worthless. And now, what happened in the next situation? After on, when the farmer raised his axe, and one more time, like raising, raised, lifted higher. When the farmer lifted his eggs one more time. Then suddenly what he saw there? He saw a hollow. That hollow beehive was there. Then what did he do? He started glancing at the beehive, just giving a big eye to the hollow. There he found the honeybees, and they were producing, and they had produced honey. Then immediately the farmer went nearby using the fingers. He just tried to get some drops of honey and licked it. Then after licking, he found it very tasty. So he said himself, it tastes good. It tastes good. So then after, what he did? At once, his planning had been transformed. He changed his mind. He changed his idea. In the beginning, he thought that the tree was no more useful for him, so that he started chopping the tree. But later on, when he got honey from the beehive in the hollow part of the tree, then he found somehow the tree would be useful for him. So that he changed his idea and he just thought of not cutting the tree again. Then what had happened the next? He thought an idea that the honey would give some more honey and it would produce some more. So now let's see what happened in the next part of the story. Listen, he cried to the birds and animals, I shall not cut down the tree. Read out aloud. It's your home. You can live in peace now. Once he threw away his axe. The farmer was not kind man, but anyway all the birds and the animals cried in joy. Their homes were safe. See, sometimes if we get the things wrong, then suddenly the good or the right things may occur. So the same incident happened to the animals, birds and insects of the tree. When the farmer found the hollow part of the tree with the beehive, with the honey, then suddenly he changed his mind of not cutting the trees. The farmer thought that the beehive, if it remained in the same place, then honey would be produced more. Then he started shouting aloud. Previously, grasshoppers, sparrows and birds were shouting, but now the farmer started shouting. What did he say? Listen, listen. He was addressing to the birds, animals and grasshopper. Listened. Now, I will not cut down the trees. I'll not cut down the trees. Why? Because according to the farmer, he said to other animals that they could live in peace if the tree remained there. Live in peace. They can live quietly with no more disturbance. The farmer would not come to them to disturb by cutting the trees. So he said, I shall not cut down the trees. I'll not cut down the trees. So, within the same shelter, you can remain or you can live in peace with no more disturbance. But at the time when the farmer was screaming, the animals thought that the farmer was not kind. He was not kind. He was selfish too. But within his selfishness, though he was selfish, the result became good for other animals. Otherwise, the other animals would be losing their shelters, would be getting their shelters to be searched anywhere. They had to go to other places to search, and they had to be wandering. But anyway, with the decision of the farmer, they were very happy. They enjoyed a lot. They were happy in joy. They got they listened the good news. So dear children, this is all about the story of the apple tree. Apple tree, though the tree doesn't give the apples, doesn't produce the apples, then also sometimes it's beneficial or it's useful in other different manners. Now very hurriedly, I'll be asking some of the sentence, whether the sentences are said by the farmers or not, that you need to identify. It's the oral activities that we are going to do in today's class. If you are ready, get ready to give the answers to me. The first sentence for you, whether the farmer has said it or not. Either it is in the beginning, or it is in the middle, or it is at the end. So the first sentence for you, the farmer said, the tree had become useless. Am I right? Are you right? Okay, the farmer obviously has said the tree has become useless when the tree did not give apples anymore. Okay, now the next sentence, you just have to find out whether the sentence is correct or not. The tree is our only home. Did the farmer say that the tree is only our home? No. The farmer would have his own house, but the other animals, the other birds, the other insects, those who were living in the tree as their shelters, they said that. So the farmer has said or had said the tree is only our home. It's incorrect. Now the third one for every student. The farmer said, our song will make you happy. Is it the statement said by the farmer? No. It's not the statement said by the farmer, but it's the statement said by other different animals, those who were getting the shelters in the trees. So dear students, hope all of you have enjoyed today's story time in our English session, and the students were also or are also reminded for writing the story if you know or if you can write in a simple statement or simple language. So this is your assignment for today, and hopefully the next time when we are meeting, we will be assembling with the new topic either in English grammar or in English literature. So till that time, I wish for your good health. Thank you so much.